大家好，我是 Jenny， 欢迎来到沉思者 J。今天我们要认识一个人，他曾在舞台上让观众用刀划伤他的皮肤，他曾在画廊里静坐75天，什么都不说，什么都不做，只是看着你的眼睛。他说，艺术必须让人不舒服。他说，痛苦是通往意识的大门。她就是玛莉娜阿布拉莫维奇，行为艺术之母，一个用自己的身体书写历史的女人。先说说她从哪里来。1946年，贝尔格勒，当时的南斯拉夫，一个硝烟刚散的战后世界。她的父母都是二战英雄，父亲达尼卡阿布拉莫维奇曾是游击队指挥官，母亲沃伊斯拉瓦是党内要员。听起来很厉害，对吧？但问题是，这两个英雄不在家，他们的工作比孩子重要。小玛丽娜从6岁开始就由外婆照顾，外婆是虔诚的东正教信徒，每天带她去教堂，让她用膝盖跪在麦粒上祷告，折磨肉身以净化灵魂。你看到了吗？那种对身体痛苦的特殊态度，在她6岁的时候就种下了根。她的母亲是个严格的女人，非常严格，晚上10点必须回家，直到她29岁还是如此。29岁，一个成年女性，晚上10点必须在家。母亲认为纪律就是爱，但玛丽娜感受到的是囚禁。后来她说，她一生的艺术都在对抗这种压制，对抗那个让她晋升的世界。她从小就展示出惊人的艺术直觉。12岁那年，她告诉母亲她想学画，母亲同意了，但只在下午2点到4点之间，其他时间不准碰画笔。就算在这样的限制下，她还是在贝尔格勒艺术学院崭露头角。后来进入贝尔格勒美术学院深造，获得了绘画硕士学位。那时候她画的是具象的作品，有云，有天空，有梦境般的意象，但她觉得哪里不对。她觉得画布太小了，装不下她想说的话。转折点发生在1973年，她在贝尔格勒做了第一件行为艺术作品，名叫节奏系列。第一件作品叫节奏时，她拿了20把刀，把手指张开放在桌上，然后开始玩那个危险的手指游戏，就是在手指缝隙间快速刺刀的那种，每次刺到手指就换一把刀继续，把20把刀全部用完。她录下整个过程的声音，然后重播声音，再照着节奏重做一次，包括那些错误。整个过程，她的手指在流血，观众在颤抖，但她的脸上没有表情，只有专注，完全的专注。玛丽娜阿布拉莫维奇就此诞生，不是作为画家，而是作为行为艺术家。接下来的节奏系列更加激烈。节奏舞在1974年，她在南斯拉夫艺术节上点燃了一个巨大的心形篝火，那是共产党的象征，五角星。她从外向内，一块一块剪掉自己的指甲，剪掉脚趾甲，剪掉头发，然后把这些剪下来的东西全部扔进火里。最后她走进了那个燃烧的心形，躺在火焰的中央，结果燃烧消耗了周围的氧气，她失去意识了，是旁观者冲进去把她抱出来的。她说她根本不知道自己失去意识了，这让她意识到一件事，当你完全进入一种艺术状态的时候，你的身体感知会改变。这个发现成了她往后所有创作的核心。然后是节奏铃。1974年，那也许是她最著名的早期作品，也是最令人不安的。她走进拿坡里的一个艺廊，桌上摆了72件物品，其中有羽毛，有玫瑰花，有蜂蜜，有剪刀，有刀，有手枪，还有一颗子弹。她站在那里，一动也不动。旁边有一张告示，大意是说，这6个小时里，我是一件物品，你可以对我做任何事，你可以用桌上任何东西对我做任何事，我承担一切后果。一开始观众很害羞，他们拿玫瑰给他，把蜂蜜涂在他脸上，但随着时间过去，人性的另一面出现了。有人用剪刀剪破了他的衣服，有人用刺玫瑰的刺割伤他的颈部， 有人把手枪对着他的太阳穴，其他观众在最后一刻阻止了那个人。6个小时结束后，玛丽娜开始走动，观众吓得四散逃离，因为只要她还是物品，他们可以做任何事，但一旦她成为有眼神的人，他们无法面对自己刚才做的一切。她哭了，她说那6个小时改变了她对人性的看法。她说她发现，如果你给人们许可，他们愿意走到多远。这件作品后来被视为行为艺术史上最重要的作品之一。它探讨了施害与受害，探讨了旁观者的责任，探讨了什么叫做同意。70年代中期，他离开南斯拉夫去了阿姆斯特丹，在那里他遇到了乌维莱辛格尼希特，后来大家都叫他乌雷，一个德国行为艺术家。他们一见面，就像2块磁铁撞在一起。1975年开始，他们成为艺术伙伴，也成为恋人。他们住在一辆货车里，在欧洲各地巡回创作，没有固定住所，只有彼此。他们的合作作品叫做关系作品系列，那些作品都是关于2个人之间的能量，关于张力，关于极限。其中有一件作品叫做呼吸，他们嘴对嘴呼吸，就是你呼出去的空气被对方吸进去，然后再呼出来被你吸进去，就这样循环。结果是他们互相吸入对方呼出的二氧化碳，直到2人都失去意识。17分钟，他们撑了17分钟。这件作品探讨的是2个人之间的极限共存。爱是什么？爱是不是就是让对方的废气充满你的肺部？还有一件作品叫做静止能量。他们面对面站着，乌雷拉着一把弓箭对着玛丽娜的心脏，而玛丽娜往后倾斜，用她整个身体的重量拉着那根弦。如果她放手，箭就会射中乌雷；如果乌雷放手，箭就会射中玛丽娜。2个人同时感受着那根箭的张力，他们的心跳声被麦克风收音。整个过程4分钟，你可以听到他们心跳越来越快。那是一件关于信任的作品，关于爱与死之间那条细细的线。他们一起工作了12年，但最后爱情还是在时光中耗尽了。他们各自走上了万里长城的2端。玛丽娜从东边的黄海出发，乌雷从西边的戈壁沙漠出发，2人各走了2500公里，在中间相遇，然后告别。这个计划原本是他们想结婚的方式，在长城上告别过去，重新开始。但等到他们终于得到中国政府许可的时候，爱情已经走到尽头了，所以那次相遇变成了告别。这个作品叫做《情人长城》。1988年，他们在长城中段的陕西省相遇，拥抱，然后分手。分手之后，他们22年没有说话。分手之后的玛丽娜进入了独自创作的时期。这个时期，她开始深入研究静止与时间。1995年，她在威尼斯双年展上展出了巴尔干巴洛克，那是对她故乡南斯拉夫战争的回应。那几年正是波士尼亚战争最惨烈的时候。她在展览现场放了1500根牛骨头，那些骨头上还带着血肉。她坐在骨堆上，用刷子一根一根清洗那些骨头，一边清洗一边唱着家乡的民谣。她一天做7个小时，连续4天。那个作品让观众无法呼吸，那些骨头的腐臭气味充满整个空间，但她就那样唱着。她说她在为那些死去的人清洗。那件作品让她赢得了威尼斯双年展的金狮奖。然后是2010年，她做了一件改变当代艺术史的作品，在纽约现代艺术博物馆。那件作品叫做《艺术家在场》。她在博物馆中央放了一张桌子，2把椅子，她坐在其中1把椅子上，每天7个半小时，从博物馆开馆到闭馆，一动不动，不说话，只是看着坐在对面那个人的眼睛。任何人都可以去坐在对面那张椅子上。展览持续了3个月，75天，超过1500人坐到了那张椅子上。有些人在他的凝视下哭泣，有些人沉默地坐了几个小时，有些人是慕名而来的陌生人，有些人是多年未见的老朋友。然后有一天， 那个男人出现了，乌雷。他走进博物馆，坐到了那张椅子上。22年没有说话的两个人，就这样对视着。玛丽娜哭了，那是整个展览中她唯一一次哭泣。那一刻被摄影师拍下来，那张照片在全世界流传。那一刻是整个当代艺术史上最动人的瞬间之一。那场展览有一个纪录片叫做《艺术家在场》，后来成为研究行为艺术的重要文献。整个展览期间，玛丽娜没有缺席一天，没有去厕所一次，她就那样坐着75天。她说那是她艺术生涯中最艰难的作品，也是最重要的，因为她问了一个最简单的问题：当两个人面对面坐着，什么都不做，那个当下发生了什么？那个叫做在场，那个就是生命。2016年，她和乌雷又在法庭上相见，这次不是艺术，而是诉讼。乌雷控告他没有支付他应得的版税和创作费用，那些他们共同创作的作品，在过去几十年里持续赚取版税，但乌雷说他从未收到应有的份额。官司闹得很难看，最后以和解收场，但那段岁月的美丽也永远沾上了裂缝。玛丽娜说这让她心碎，但她选择继续向前。她建立了玛丽娜阿布拉莫维奇研究所，简称 MI， 致力于推广她发展出的一套方法论。她把它叫做阿布拉莫维奇方法。这套方法让参与者放慢速度，清空杂念，完全活在当下。她在世界各地举办工作坊，教导人们如何透过极度缓慢的动作来重新感知身体。她说我们现代人活得太快了，我们吃饭看手机，我们走路看手机，我们已经不知道如何只是存在了。她的方法让很多人第一次感受到那种完全的在场。她也开始把这套方法用在教育上。她在美术学院任教多年，她的学生遍布全球。她告诉她的学生，艺术家最重要的功课是面对自己，不是技巧，不是概念，是勇气，面对自己恐惧的勇气，面对自己痛苦的勇气。2023年，他在伦敦皇家艺术学院举办了大型个展，那场展览回顾了他50年的艺术生涯。观众可以在里面体验他的阿布拉莫维奇方法，也可以看到他所有重要作品的文献记录。他说他想让这场展览成为一个起点，不是终点。他要继续创作，直到他死为止。他已经年近80了。他说他不怕死。他说死亡也是一件可以做的艺术。他说他计划在死的时候做最后一件作品，把死亡本身变成一次公开的行为艺术。他这样说，他说我要让观众看到人如何离开这个世界，让死亡变得有意义，让死亡变成一份礼物。听到这些话的时候，你不知道是该笑，还是该哭，还是两者都有。玛丽娜阿布拉莫维奇的一生就是一件作品，一件未完成的作品。她用她的身体提问，关于痛苦的意义，关于在场的重量，关于人与人之间那道看不见的玻璃墙，关于爱，关于时间，关于死亡。她说艺术不是装饰，艺术是生命，艺术是你愿意为它付出一切的那件事。今天的沉思者 J 就到这里。如果你今天感受到了什么，如果这个故事让你想起了什么，不要忘记那个感觉，把它带回你的生活，因为那个感觉就是艺术在对你说话。我是 Jenny， 我们下次见咯。Hello everyone, I am Jenny. Welcome to Thinker J. Today I want to tell you about someone who once let audience members cut her skin with a knife on stage. Someone who sat in silence in a gallery for 75 days. She did not speak. She did not move. She simply looked into your eyes. She said art must make people uncomfortable. She said pain is the doorway to consciousness. She is Marina Abramovic, the grandmother of performance art, a woman who wrote history with her own body. Let us start at the beginning. She was born in 1946 in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, as it was called then, a post-war world where the smoke had barely cleared. Both of her parents were war heroes. Her father Danica Abramovic had been a partisan commander during World War II. Her mother Vojislava was a high-ranking party official. Impressive on paper, right? But the problem was that these two heroes were never home. Their work always came before their children. From the age of 6, little Marina was raised by her grandmother. Her grandmother was a deeply devout Serbian Orthodox Christian. She took Marina to church every day. She made her kneel on grains of wheat to pray. The idea was that the suffering of the body would purify the soul. Do you see it already? That very particular attitude toward physical pain. It was planted in her at the age of 6. And it would grow into something no one expected. Her mother was an extraordinarily strict woman. Marina had a 10 o'clock curfew. Even when she was 29 years old. 29 years old, and she had to be home by 10 o'clock at night. Her mother believed discipline was a form of love. But what Marina experienced felt more like imprisonment. She said later that her entire artistic life was a revolt against that suppression. Against the world that had tried to silence her. She showed remarkable artistic instinct from a very young age. When she was 12, she told her mother she wanted to learn to paint. Her mother agreed, but only between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. No paintbrushes allowed at any other time. Even under those constraints, she distinguished herself at the Belgrade Academy of Fine Arts. She later received a postgraduate degree in painting there. Her early work was figurative, filled with clouds and skies and dreamlike imagery. But she felt something was wrong. She felt the canvas was too small. It could not hold everything she needed to say. The turning point came in 1973. She created her first performance art piece in Belgrade. It was called the Rhythm Series. The first work was called Rhythm 10. She laid out 20 knives on a table. She spread her fingers wide on the surface. And she began playing that dangerous knife game, the one where you stab rapidly between your own fingers. Every time she cut herself, she picked up a new knife and continued. She went through all 20 knives. She recorded the sounds of the entire process. Then she replayed the recording and performed the whole sequence again from memory, including every mistake. Her fingers were bleeding. The audience was trembling. But her face showed nothing. Only absolute concentration. Marina Abramovic was born that day. Not as a painter. As a performance artist. The Rhythm series escalated from there. Rhythm 5 came in 1974. At a youth festival in Yugoslavia, she set fire to a massive star-shaped bonfire. The 5-pointed star was a communist symbol. She began methodically cutting off her fingernails, toenails, and hair, throwing each piece into the flames. Then she walked into the burning star and lay down in the center of the fire. The burning wood consumed all the oxygen around her. She lost consciousness. It was spectators who rushed in and pulled her to safety. She said afterward that she had no idea she had passed out. This shocked her into a profound realization. When you enter a state of complete artistic presence, your perception of your own body changes completely. That discovery became the foundation of everything she would create afterward. Then came Rhythm 0. Also 1974. Perhaps her most famous early work. And certainly the most disturbing. She entered a gallery in Naples. On a table were 72 objects. Among them were feathers, a rose, honey, scissors, a knife, a loaded gun, and a single bullet. She stood motionless beside the table. A sign explained the situation. For the next 6 hours, I am an object. You may do anything to me using any item on this table. I take full responsibility for everything that happens. At first the audience was shy. They gave her roses. They spread honey on her face. But as the hours passed, something else emerged. Someone cut her clothing with scissors. Someone used a rose thorn to draw blood from her neck. Someone pressed the loaded gun against her temple. Other audience members intervened at the last moment. When the 6 hours ended and Marina began to move again, the audience scattered in all directions. Because while she was an object, they could do anything. But the moment she became a person with eyes that could look back at them, they could not face what they had done. She wept afterward. She said those 6 hours changed her understanding of human nature forever. She said she discovered how far people are willing to go when given permission. This piece is now considered one of the most important works in the entire history of performance art. It explores violence and victimhood. It examines the responsibility of the bystander. It asks what consent really means. In the mid-1970s she left Yugoslavia and moved to Amsterdam. There she met Uwe Lazypen, known to everyone simply as Uli. He was a German performance artist. They collided like two magnets. From 1975 they became artistic collaborators and romantic partners. They lived together in a van. They traveled across Europe creating work. No permanent address. Only each other. Their collaboration was called the Relation Work series. Every piece was about the energy between two people. About tension. About limits. One of these works was called Breathing In and Breathing Out. They pressed their mouths together and breathed into each other. The air you exhaled was inhaled by the other person, then exhaled back for you to inhale again. They were cycling each other's carbon dioxide. They held this for 17 minutes. Until both of them lost consciousness. That work was asking a question about extreme coexistence between two people. What is love? Is love letting the air that is no longer good for your partner fill your lungs? Another work was called Rest Energy. They stood face to face. Uli held a bow with an arrow aimed directly at Marina's heart. Marina leaned backward, using the full weight of her body to pull the bowstring taut. If she let go, the arrow would strike Uli. If he let go, the arrow would strike Marina. Both of them feeling the tension of that arrow simultaneously. Their heartbeats were picked up by microphones. The piece lasted 4 minutes. You can hear their heartbeats accelerating throughout. It was a work about trust. About the thin line between love and death. They worked together for 12 years. But love eventually wore down in the passage of time. They decided to walk the Great Wall of China from opposite ends. Marina began at the Yellow Sea in the east. Uli began in the Gobi Desert in the west. Each walked approximately 2,500 kilometers. They met in the middle and said goodbye. The original concept had been their wedding. They wanted to walk the wall and begin a new life together. But by the time they finally received permission from the Chinese government, the love was gone. So what was planned as a beginning became an ending. The piece was called The Lovers, The Great Wall Walk. It was 1988. They met in Shaanxi province in the middle section of the wall. They embraced. Then they parted. After the separation they did not speak for 22 years. The period after their split brought Marina into a new phase of solo work. She began diving deeper into stillness and time. In 1995 at the Venice Biennale she presented a work called Balkan Baroque. It was a response to the war in her homeland. Those were the bloodiest years of the Bosnian War. In the gallery she placed 1,500 cow bones. The bones still carried flesh and blood. She sat on top of the pile. She washed each bone one by one with a brush. As she cleaned them she sang folk songs from her childhood. She sat there for 7 hours a day. For 4 consecutive days. The work left audiences unable to breathe. The smell of decay filled the entire space. But she kept singing. She said she was washing the dead. She was cleaning the bones of everyone who had been killed. That work earned her the Golden Lion at the Venice Biennale. Then came 2010. She created a work that changed the history of contemporary art. At the Museum of Modern Art in New York. The piece was called The Artist is Present. She placed a table in the center of the atrium. 2 chairs. She sat in one of them. Every day for 7.5 hours. From the moment the museum opened to the moment it closed. She did not move. She did not speak. She simply looked into the eyes of whoever sat down across from her. Anyone could sit in the opposite chair. The exhibition ran for 3 months. 75 days. More than 1,500 people sat across from her. Some wept under her gaze. Some sat in silence for hours. Some were strangers who had read about the work. Some were old friends she had not seen in years. And then one day a particular man walked into the museum. Uli. He sat down in the chair. 2 people who had not spoken in 22 years looked at each other. Marina wept. It was the only time she cried during the entire exhibition. A photographer captured that moment. The image circulated around the world. That moment is one of the most moving in the entire history of contemporary art. The exhibition generated a documentary film also called The Artist is Present. It became an essential document for the study of performance art. Throughout the entire exhibition Marina did not miss a single day. She did not leave to use the bathroom even once. She simply sat. For 75 days. She said it was the most demanding work of her artistic life. And also the most important. Because it asked the simplest possible question. When 2 people sit facing each other and do nothing at all, what happens in that moment? That is called presence. That is life itself. In 2016 she and Uli met again. But this time not as artists. As parties in a lawsuit. Uli filed a legal claim against her, saying she had failed to pay him the royalties and creative fees he was owed. Those works they had created together had continued generating revenue for decades. But Uli said he had never received his fair share. The case played out publicly and painfully. It ended in a settlement. But the beauty of those years was now cracked. Marina said it broke her heart. But she chose to keep moving forward. She established the Marina Abramovic Institute, known as MAI. Its mission is to promote the methodology she has spent her life developing. She calls it the Abramovic method. The method guides participants to slow down, to empty their minds, to be completely present in the current moment. She holds workshops around the world. She teaches people to reconnect with their own bodies through extremely slow, deliberate movement. She says we modern people live at a speed that makes us strangers to ourselves. We eat while looking at our phones. We walk while looking at our phones. We no longer know how to simply exist. Her method has given many people their first real experience of what it means to be fully present. She also brought this approach into education. She taught for many years at art institutions. Her students are now working around the world. She tells them that the most important task for any artist is to face themselves honestly. Not technique. Not concept. Courage. The courage to face your own fears. The courage to face your own pain. In 2023, she held a major retrospective at the Royal Academy of Arts in London. The exhibition looked back across 50 years of her artistic life. Visitors could experience the Abramovic method directly. They could also encounter documentary records of all her major works. She said she wanted the exhibition to feel like a beginning, not an ending. She intends to keep creating until the day she dies. She is approaching 80 years old. She says she is not afraid of death. She says death itself is something that can become art. She says she is planning to make death her final performance, to transform the act of dying into a public piece of performance art. She has said she wants audiences to witness how a human being leaves this world, to make death meaningful, to make death a gift. When you hear her say these things, you are not sure whether to laugh or cry, perhaps both at once. Marina Abramovic has lived her entire life as a single work of art, an unfinished work. She uses her body to ask questions about the meaning of pain, about the weight of presence, about the invisible wall of glass that stands between one person and another, about love, about time, about death. She says art is not decoration. Art is life. Art is the thing you are willing to give everything for. That is all for today's Thinker J. If something moved inside you today, if this story reminded you of something, do not let go of that feeling. Carry it back into your life, because that feeling is art speaking to you. I am Jenny. See you next time.